Hello everyone, my name is Mark Armstrong. I'm an account manager here in B4X, and today I'm going to show you how to utilize leverage to your advantage. Now, leverage basically means that you have a higher buying power than the amount of money that you've invested in your account. And at B4X we're offering a leverage of 200 times. So that means that if you've invested an amount of $5,000, let's say, then you have actually $1 million to trade with. And this will help you, of course, because if you have a small amount of equity to start with, if you have a small starting capital, then it'll be very helpful to turn it into a larger capital in order to make larger profits. So the way that we do this, I'm going to explain in just a moment. First of all, I want to give a brief introduction about currency pairs, because I have a lot of clients asking me, what is a currency pair, and which one am I buying and which one am I selling? So I want to make that very clear right now. So first of all, you'll notice that, of course, in a currency pair, we're buying one currency and selling the other simultaneously. Now, the first currency mentioned in the pair, or the currency on the left, is known as the base currency. So for example, in EUR USD, the euro is mentioned first. So the euro is the base currency, and the USD would be the secondary currency. Or for example, in EUR CAD, so the euro is the base currency because it's mentioned first, and CAD would be the secondary currency, a Canadian dollar. So whichever action you do, whether you're buying or you're selling, that happens to the base currency. So for example, if I sell USD JPY, that means that I'm selling US dollars and I'm buying Japanese yen. Now, once we open the position, you're going to notice that the amount is 5,000. So this is the minimum amount, and the amount is already taking into account the leverage that's applied. So we can see that a required margin here is $25, and that will open up a position that's worth 5,000 US dollars. Okay, and here we can see the direction is that we're selling. That means we're selling US dollars, which is the base currency, and buying Japanese yen, which is the secondary currency. Now let's go ahead and click OK to open up this position and see how it's affecting our account. So here we can, of course, see all the position details. But over here we have very important information, which is all of our account status. Now we're going to see the total account equity at the top, which is the most important number, which means how much money do we have in the account, including all of our open positions. Okay. The next we have the exposure amount, which is the exposure in US dollars. And as you remember, we opened up the position on 5,000. So the amount of exposure is 5,000 US dollars. The available line is going to show us how much total do we have in order to open up positions with, and we can basically get this number very simply by multiplying our current account equity by 200, which is the amount of leverage that's applied. Now you'll remember that when we opened up the position, it said a required margin of $25. So that means from the total equity of our account, we are using only $25. Okay, and the rest of the margin is going to be called the usable margin. So that's margin that we're still able to use. So the usable margin plus the used margin is going to equal our total equity. Okay, now as promised, the way that we minimize our risk and use the leverage to our advantage is simply to make sure that the used margin is only a small percentage of our total account equity. Meaning, we recommend in B4X to use 10% or even 5% of your total margin available. So right now we have a account equity of 5,000. That means that we're able to use $250 up to $500 in our used margin in order for the trade to be relatively safe. Once you get higher than that, you know, the risk can be a little bit steeper, because that means that even a small movement in the market will affect your account by a lot. So again, keep your used margin approximately 10% or less of your total equity, and that way you'll always have control of your trades at all times, and you'll be able to use the leverage to your advantage. Let me know if you have any questions on this. If you need any further assistance, always ask your account manager. We're always here to help. Have a great day.